Today's supersizer is 11-year-old Aisha Khalil from Great Yarmouth. Weighing in at almost 12 stone, she's double the weight she should be for her age and urgently needs help before she gets any bigger.
I want to be like any other girl, but I can't because I need to lose weight. I want to lose weight.
Aisha lives with her parents, 2 sisters and niece. And she just loves to eat.
The foods that I like are chips, chicken.
She'll start at 6 o'clock in the morning, come down and make herself cheese on toast, which is her favourite.
Just for a snack, she'd have like a cheese pasty. She'll have like 2 of those.
Sweet, she loves sweet.
Lots and lots of chocolate bars. I'd eat corn, I'd eat sandwiches, ice lollies, ice cream, waffles.
She doesn't know when she's hungry. She just carries on eating.
And if there's any leftovers from dinner, I'll probably eat that. I just want to eat and eat and eat.
I feel guilty that she's got to the stage that she is now. But I don't know what else to do.
Learning to say no might be a start.
Don't do that.
Shut up.
So I'm going to tell Mum.
No.
Because when it comes to food, Aisha rules the roost.
She don't get her way, she's absolutely get berserk.
And she'll bang a door and run off and...
She'll start hitting and punching and being abusive.
And I know it's not right, but I don't know what else to do because I get angry. Go away.
Which means that Abida lets Aisha eat whatever she wants.
I don't argue with her. I don't even get angry with her anymore. I've just switched off now.
But there's no ignoring the long-term damage that could be happening to Aisha's body.
My biggest fear for Aisha is that she will become morbidly obese. She could end up being in a wheelchair or housebound.
I can't lose weight on my own. Even no matter how hard I try, I can't lose weight. I want to.
So I'm going to be helping Mum and daughter to get her diet back on track in the feeding clinic.
I've got some worries about you. My first worry is this. You have a real little temper on you, don't you? You get very cross. And that might be a problem this week. Because I'm going to say to you sometimes, you can't eat that. That is not good for you. I don't want you eating that sort of thing anymore. How are you going to stop that happening this week? Mum? Because this is the temper that's made you give up trying to do anything more, don't you? Because really, you fear this temper, don't you?
She'll listen to you, but she probably won't listen to me.
This is my worry. There is a bit of demanding nature to you, and I think there's a bit of a weakness on your side as well.
Yes.
And you can't keep giving in to it.
Food for thought for Aisha and her mum, but they won't be going through this alone. Meet David Jenkins, accompanied by Mum Paula. Superskinny David, aged 9, is 4'4" and weighs a minuscule 3 stone 12 pounds when he should weigh around 5.
Foods I like are oh, it's hard to think.
Let's try putting it another way.
Foods that I really don't like are beetroot, broccoli, carrots, cabbage, sweet corn, peas or lettuce. Basically most of the vegetables. Basically I'm not a veggie person.
You won't touch rice, won't touch noodles.
You couldn't do like a shepherd's pie or a spaghetti bolognese for him.
Just won't even entertain it, don't want to know.
And even when he does eat, David's portions are tiny.
Even his younger sister, who's 6, eats more than David.
I think my stomach's really small and I always get really full quickly.
But there is one thing that's keeping this little guy going.
chocolate milkshakes are a big favourite with David. He'll have probably 5 or 6 in one day. That is almost the only drink he'll have.
But milkshakes don't maketh a man, and Mum Paula is increasingly concerned that David's picky eating issues could develop into a far greater problem.
His fussiness over the years, I would say, has grown. It's like a phobia, and I worry that it could lead to perhaps a further eating disorder as he gets older. That's my biggest thing. But I have tried everything, and I kind of feel of a failure, really, because it's a battle that we haven't been able to win. I've kind of given up now.
I just want to change my size. Not too thin or too wide, just how it should be. Ugh. And it goes blurry.
So David and Paula will join Aisha and Abida in the feeding clinic to put a stop to their deadly eating habits before it's too late.
OK. If we've got to get you a bit bigger, because that will make you a bit happier, what really needs to change, do you think, this week?
Try different foods.
Are you actually going to? Mum, what do you think?
I think he will give it a go. Whether we actually get him to swallow any of the food we try is another matter.
Because you're very, very fussy about what you eat, aren't you? Listen, you have to promise me something. If I put a load of food down in front of you, you have to promise me now that you will at least try it.
I'll try it.
And you won't just go, no, I won't like it, I'm not having it. Yeah? I hope when you go home at the end of the week, your diet will be a little bit better and a little bit more varied. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Good, all right.
I asked the kids to keep a food diary for 1 week, and with everybody now in the clinic, it's time to confront them with their terrible tucker.
So, David, we're going to start with breakfast. That's lots of bread. And then I guess this is yoghurt.
Yeah.
Is it as well? Is that it for breakfast?
Yep.
Right, lunchtime. So what's in those sandwiches?
Jam.
Just jam. And on Tuesday?
Jam.
And on Wednesday?
Jam.
Thursday, Friday?
Jam.
Jam, jam, jam. Right. It must be dinner time next. A bit of burger and a bit of sausage. That is breakfast, lunch and dinner. Let's have a look what you snack on, because maybe this is where all the nice fruit and veg and variety is. There's not a fruit or a vegetable in sight. What are we missing?
Milkshake.
Milkshake. Let's have a look. Here it comes. There we go. Wow. That's a lot of milkshake. Probably about a quarter of your calories is from your milkshakes alone. Mum, what do you think? Does this surprise you or not really?
No.
No? This is why you're here, young man.
I just can't believe that that's all he eats in a week. It's such a tiny amount. But seeing it all like that really brings it home.
So, Aisha, it's your turn. Breakfasts, let's have a look. This is cheese on toast, isn't it? Your favourite thing. Let's have a look at lunch. Whoa, OK. So we've got some bread rolls here with what in?
Cheese and tomatoes.
Let's have a look at dinners next. Here we go. Oh, and the chips. Look how we're comparing. There's a lot more there. Yeah? Do we snack? Wow, OK. It's way more than you should be eating. You're eating virtually adult-sized portions, OK? Whereas, David, your portion sizes are the size of about a 3- or 4-year-old.
When you see it like this, that's an awful lot in there. And it's not healthy. I'm not surprised she's gaining weight.
David only eats about 1,700 calories a day when he should be eating around 2,000. That means he's losing a whole day's worth of calories every single week. Aisha's adult-sized portions means that she's eating up to a whopping 2,500 calories per day, when a girl of her age should be having 1,850. That's nearly 2.5 days of extra meals every week. That equates to a 4-stone weight gain over the course of a year.
Looking at my food sheet does make me realise that there's lots of bad foods in them. The food that David eats for a week, I would probably eat that in one day.
And I don't think it's enough food to keep me going, just a bit more I need.
This week's Feeding Clinic housemates are 11-year-old Supersize Aisha with mum Abida and 9-year-old Superskinny David with mum Paula. Having just witnessed how bad their diets have become, I want to drive home just how much and how little the kids have both been eating. So Aisha and David are sitting down to a straightforward meal swap. And for the mums, it's a stark reality check of just what they've been feeding their kids. Fussy eater David is sitting down to a huge pile of cheese-topped shepherd's pie, accompanied by Yorkshire puddings and his pet hate, vegetables.
Ready? Yes.
And monster muncher Aisha, who usually eats adult-sized portions, will have to make do with 4 chicken nuggets and a few chips, washed down with David's favourite, a chocolate milkshake.
What do you think about that?
It's very small.
It is very small, isn't it?
Do you think you're going to manage to eat all that? Yeah.
With the kids left speechless by the difference in their portion sizes, the mums take a seat in the garden to keep a close eye on proceedings.
I knew David would eat the Yorkshire puddings first, because he does like Yorkshire pudding.
Aisha's going to be moaning at me if she's hungry.
This is how much you normally eat, then you eat more.
Now, because I get full really quickly. I wish I had the stuff on that plate. That's my favourite meal.
Shepherd's pie is one of my favourite meals.
I don't like it.
What don't you like about the broccoli?
I just don't like that bit.
Broccoli is one of my favourite vegetables. I don't think it's that bad.
He's struggling with his, isn't he?
And she's watching him. As if to say, if you leave any, can I have some?
I really hate mint.
Oh, she's so sad. She's not happy now.
No.
So the meal swap has been really tough. David's hardly managed to eat a thing, and Aisha's clearly not happy either.
What's up, darling?
I feel sick.
You feel sick? It's all right. Do you think you should have had the shepherd's pie?
I wish I hadn't had anything.
We are having a bad day, aren't we? I don't know what happened there. It's just a strange environment with people around her that she doesn't know, and she doesn't feel totally relaxed. That's probably what it is.
And the next morning, things seem no better, because Aisha's been doing what she always does when she wants her own way.
Pack my suitcase and I ran downstairs and I took train tickets out of Martin's bag.
We had the shouting and the screaming, and I said, okay, just calm down, we'll have a little talk. She's hard to control. I don't want to see her shouting, screaming, getting angry, because I don't want to see her upset.
But one of the reasons Aisha's got to the size she has is because Abida has given in to her temper tantrums over the years. And I think it's high time that Mum started being a parent and not a pal. Maybe a mood-enhancing breakfast will lift everybody's spirits.
Oh, egg, donkey egg and soldiers.
Our dietitian Ursula has devised a healthy breakfast of boiled egg, toast, mushrooms and orange juice. It's a great balance of protein, carbohydrates and vitamin C. Aisha only wolfs down half of what she usually eats, but once again David struggles with new tastes and textures.
When we had the mushroom, I really didn't like it. It was disgusting. It was all squishy. I put it in my mouth, I took a bite, and it had this sort of a woody taste. It was all wood.
He did make a brave attempt. He tried the egg and he tried the mushroom, which you could just see from his face. He was complaining about the smell before he even got it close to him.
Paula might be laughing now, but I'm worried that if she doesn't start being tougher on David, his fussy eating could turn into something far more serious. For things to change, it's crucial that Paula and Abida accept responsibility for their children's weight problems. By looking at pictures of them growing up, I hope they'll realise where things started going wrong and where they lost control of their children's diets.
This is Aisha on her first birthday. I mean, she was perfectly healthy and normal as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
She's 7 in this one.
Yeah.
She's got an adult-sized night dress on there. Nothing would fit in her, but I didn't notice at the time. This was her 8th birthday. I mean, the dress that she was wearing was an age 13. I didn't think anything of it at the time. It was just Aisha. As a child, whatever food she wanted, she had. And I didn't realise over the years that she was getting bigger. I used to just feed her. Really didn't notice.
Well, this is David. He was about 4. This is probably the age when he stopped eating fruit and vegetables. Yeah. In this one, he's probably about 5 then.
You can see his ribs in that
You can see his ribs, yes. By this stage, he was just as fussy as he is at the moment, really. It does worry me, actually, the fact that the amount he eats is so small. Yeah. That I've always sort of gone along expecting him to kind of stop being fussy and to start eating more foods.
So you got to a point where you think you can't help do anymore.
Yeah. You're just grateful for whatever they can eat. Didn't actually realise kind of how long it took him to get this skinny, how in fact when he was little he did look perfectly normal. It makes me feel sad actually, because he started off being all sort of healthy looking and sort of well-rounded, and you know, gradually he started to look more skinny. You can see his ribs and his arms and legs look really thin.
Whilst David's not eating anywhere near enough for a boy of his age, an increasing number of young people are actually starving themselves almost to death as their inability to eat enough descends into the deadly condition anorexia. Commonly recognised as a problem that only affects girls, it can and does affect boys too. 17-year-old Ollie is one of those.
Hi, I'm Ollie. I'm 17 years old. I live in Plymouth. I want to be a fashion designer. I love experimenting with my hair and I love trendy clothes, and I have anorexia nervosa. I remember when I first thought maybe I have anorexia. It was when I was barely eating anything. It became a habit to not eat, and then it actually went on to become an obsession. If I ate more in a day than I would have liked to, I felt a massive pain of guilt, and I'd get angry at myself and I started hating myself. Everyone started to tell me that I'm really, really skinny. I didn't think I looked illy thin at all. Eventually, I accepted that I do have an eating disorder, but I did want to keep it quiet from my family.
It was very hard for me as a parent to acknowledge that my son actually acquired an eating disorder. The difficulty is that an anorexic is really very good at hiding the symptoms.
I went through a phase where I'd only wear very baggy gothic clothing, and of course that hides a lot of the figure.
The anorexia wants to remain the individual's friend, and it will do anything to stop it from being detected.
I went to the doctors quite a lot eventually, and they sent me to the general hospital. I went in an ambulance, and I had to be wheelchaired up to the ward, actually. The lowest weight I was about 4.5 stone.
His body had more or less collapsed. He was very weak. His hands were purple. He'd actually put himself to a point where he wasn't even drinking water. Ollie was in the young person's psychiatric unit for 2 months. His day was all about refeeding, was all about gaining weight.
It's been 11 months since I was discharged, and anorexia is still with me. I'm trying to live my life as normal as possible. I'm going to college and I want to be a fashion designer. Earlier this year, me and Mum wrote a book where we write in tasks to accomplish, and it really shows my fight against anorexia. I want my family to not worry for my life every day.
Well, that's a long-term one as well, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to eat in a cafe.
Yeah.
Maybe try and clear the plate.
I feel that anorexia is still quite strongly there. It still has me under the fear of gaining weight. I want to get better more than anything else in the world. Not just for me, but for my family as well. Last part's always very difficult.
Yeah. Go on. I know you can.
Getting better is scary, very scary. But I know for a fact that it's a better life than this. It's just hard grabbing it.
Ollie and I have had a very, very turbulent time. I would urge any parent out there, if your child starts to change their behaviour, particularly around food, if your child will only eat at a certain time, if the table has to be laid in a particular way, just put all those little signs together and act on it. I really wouldn't want any parents to have to go through the things that we've been through.
To find out more about childhood anorexia and where to go for help, log on to channel4.com/supersizekids. Back in the feeding clinic, I'm concerned that fussy eater David has still got the barriers up when it comes to trying new foods. So I think it's time for an intervention. Ursula has put together a blind taste test to encourage the kids to be more adventurous when it comes to trying new foods.
The blind taste challenge is really good for the children. By taking away their sight, we encourage them to use their other senses to decide on their likes and their dislikes. Should we go for it? You ready?
Yeah.
They start the test with a relatively easy one.
So have a feel what's in the bowl.
It's sort of sticky. It feels like a banana.
Ah. Do you want to have a taste and tell me what you think? Was it nice? Or yeah?
Yeah.
It's number one, which is
Banana.
banana. You were right.
Next up, something a bit more unusual.
That's it.
I think it's okay.
It's actually a fruit called a lychee. What do you think, Aisha?
It feels mushy.
Salmon.
That's a thumbs down for the salmon. But is David about to have a breakthrough?
Like it's got juice on it.
Quite liked it. Mango. What did you like about it?
It was really sweet and it was really juicy, and it was the juice that was really nice.
So you'd have that again, especially the juice?
Yeah.
I think it's been a useful thing to me because I usually have cheese and that's not a healthy diet. And I've tried out some new vegetables and I think I'll be eating more of them now.
Before now, I didn't really like mango, but now I've tried it, I like it a lot now.
With David finally embracing new tastes and flavours and even adding a piece of fruit to his food repertoire, I think he's starting to make some real progress. But if it's to continue at home, Mum Paula is going to have to step up to the plate.
You know, you do have now the work to do. David's 9 years old. He doesn't do the food shopping. He doesn't do the cooking, and nor should he be, really. It's you. And I think it's time now...
To put my foot down.
Yeah. You are Mum, after all.
Yeah.
So it's really important.
Yes, yeah.
Finally, both Mum and son start to put into action what they've learned. David tucks into a late-night snack of yoghurt-covered raisins and a banana.
Is that nice, David?
That's another 2 fruits added to his list. And the sugary chocolate milkshakes have been replaced by calcium-rich, full-fat milk.
Done.
Back in the feeding clinic, I want David and Paula and Aisha and Abida to draw on everything they're learning and pull together to make a healthy meal that they can all enjoy. And Aisha's big sister Serena has come to join in. Dietitian Ursula has provided them with the ingredients to make steak fajitas with lots of nutritious vegetables.
What is this?
Coriander.
And Abida is finally starting to be a parent and not a pal, pushing Aisha to try some healthy new foods.
This has got avocado in. You like avocado?
No. Did you want to try a little bit? David's trying some.
I don't
You
want
can
to try
either just
anything.
use your finger or the green bit or the bean bit.
How can you hate it? You haven't even had it or tried
I
it.
don't care, I don't like it. No, I'm not eating anything.
Just try the pepper.
Oh, God. We haven't had dinner. What's up with you?
Oh, try this. I don't want to try anything. I'm not even going to have this stupid mic on anymore.
No, don't you dare pull
I'm
that.
not having it on.
Aisha!
No, I'm fed up of this stupid thing.
Take deep breaths. Calm down. Aisha,
What?
can you come out, please?
Why?
Because I'm asking you. I don't know what's the matter with you. You were eating your dinner nicely. Come on.
What?
Sit down, Daddy. Right, and you tell me what happened. Were you not enjoying the dinner?
No. Yeah, but you keep telling me to try stuff.
Well, you've got to try different things.
I don't want to try it.
But you can't have a varied diet if you're having the same things all the time. You have to try different flavours.
Aisha might not like it, but Abida's finally doing what she should have done years ago. Mums and dads have got to start taking charge when it comes to their kids' diets. But we're not going to let the nation's children off the hook either.
I'm sorry.
We know from studies that the bad eating habits you develop as a child become harder to break as you get older, and I'm seriously concerned about this generation of kids.
I think as a teenager it's more important to look a bit on the outside and we forget about our heart and stuff like that.
Bad food, it doesn't really bother us at the moment. I still eat it because I think, yeah, I'm young, so it's all right.
So I've invited another bunch of school children to a very special exhibition to show them firsthand that bad eating habits can result in ill health and even death. They're going to come face to face with real slices of human body. One slice is underweight.
This doesn't actually look a proper colour. It doesn't look healthy.
One is normal weight.
That's scary.
And the other is overweight.
It makes me feel ill just seeing all the fat and just how horrible it looks.
So, gang, what do you think?
They're not pretty.
They're not pretty. That's you, though. They're actual slices of real people. And these guys have donated their bodies so that we can learn a bit about them. Not bad, eh? Would you do that?
No. If it looked healthy, yeah. But
Only if you look good when you die would you do it? Is that the term? All right, good thinking. What I want to talk to you now about is one particular body system in general and the effects that being overweight and being underweight has on that body system, the digestive system, OK? What is the digestive system?
The belly?
yeah, the process of
Digest your foods.
yeah, the digestion.
Yeah, it's the system that extracts all the nutrients and the things that your body needs to maintain itself, repair itself and grow from all the horrible yuck that you put in your mouth. What do you think effects of bad diet would have on your digestive system?
Would it slow it down?
Definitely slow it down. What's a really important component of your diet to keep your bowels regular?
Fibre.
Fibre. Why is fibre important?
Because
basically
moving smoothie, I think.
Yeah, it bulks up your poos. Don't get enough fibre, what happens?
You won't be able to poop.
Yeah, you get really constipated, and also long-term, and it can increase your risk of getting cancers in your bowel as well. So if you all eat lots of fruit and veg, who never touches a bit of fruit or vegetable ever? You. Why not?
I don't get time. I never eat it.
Oh, you don't get time. So what do you eat?
Sweets, crisps, chocolate.
So you have time to go and buy and open packets of sweets and crisps, but you don't have time to eat an apple.
It's easier.
Having told you that your risk of bowel cancer is now quite high, probably because of your diet, would you perhaps like to introduce a bit more fruit and veg in your diet?
Yeah.
Can you see why it might be a good idea?
Yeah.
So let's have a look at this chap, OK? I want to talk about effects of being really, really overweight on your digestive system. What's the first thing you notice about his general tummy area?
It's big.
It's huge. Have you heard of things called hernias?
Yeah.
It's usually a bit of organ or intestine or something that moves to a place it shouldn't be, and it's due to a weakness in the abdominal wall. If you go on and put as much weight on as that, you are very, very, very likely to develop hernias. Have a look at his liver. One of the things, if you overeat massively, is you actually start to change the nature of your liver. If you force-feed yourself chronically, time and time and time again, you start to put fat into the cells of your liver until they actually can't function any longer. And what happens then? Liver failure. So if your liver's failed, what happens?
All your organs fail.
Die.
So it is absolutely not worth getting yourself to this stage.
There's also a strong link between obesity and type 2 diabetes, with around 2.5 million people in the UK suffering from the condition, which can lead to heart disease, strokes and kidney failure. By eating a healthy, balanced diet and doing plenty of exercise, you can help to reduce your risk of developing it.
So what do you think the sort of digestive problems are with being skinny and not eating at all? Who's ever gone on a diet? Any of you? You've gone on a diet?
I tried it, but it didn't really work because I was too... I really was dying for, my chocolates and sweets. I cut down on my meals. I used to have really big meals and snacks in between, but now I just tend to stick to 3 meals a day.
So it was a sensible diet. Who's been on one of those crazy celeb mad diets?
I know someone who has.
And tell me what happened to them.
They just decided that they wasn't going to eat, and then because they thought they was fat and they wasn't.
And what happened to them?
No, they went to the doctor and said that if they didn't eat soon, then they were going to have to be force-fed. But she started to eat again. She's all right now.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. I'll tell you something, crazy crash diets to get you to lose loads of weight are probably the worst thing you can do for your weight. Have you ever been sitting in school and you're really starving and it's nearly lunchtime and your stomach's going and you're really hungry, yeah? And you're making acid. Long term, that acid can actually start to damage your stomach wall and it can cause gastritis, erosions of the stomach wall and ulcers. It's really very unpleasant. So, would you guys like to be like this or have any of these sorts of problems? No. Do you think skinny is beautiful? No. Skinny is very rarely healthy. And what about this size? Bad for the whole load more reasons as well, isn't it? So if you start exercising and you start eating healthily now, then these sorts of things you don't need to worry about.
It's quite a shock because it makes you think, even these, it could be what's inside my body.
We're 15, 14, we should be watching what we're eating because this is right now and we can change it before it's too late.
Back in the feeding clinic, dietitian Ursula is determined to get to the bottom of last night's flare-up at the table, so is sitting down with Aisha and Abida to offer some advice.
I just wanted to find out a little bit about what happened last night.
Mum kept telling me to eat some foods and I didn't want to. She just kept asking me, I kept saying no. I was really tired and I wasn't even hungry.
What I've observed, you're somebody who's quite private, somebody who keeps their thoughts in here and doesn't talk easily about it. Would that be right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It usually happens when I'm busy, so I don't see the signs a lot of the time. I've noticed that since I've been in the house, because I've just been with her, I haven't been doing anything.
You need to be responsible. You need to be grown up about it and say, Mum, I'm going to get angry soon if you don't listen to me. I need to tell you what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling. And Mum needs to pick up when she's starting to get that way and say, right, let's sit down, let's talk about it.
I feel that will work.
You think that will work? It's about tackling this in a different way and them trying to learn to do it differently at home. So for Aisha, it's about her telling her mum how she feels at a much earlier stage And from Abida, it's about noticing when Aisha was becoming upset and tackling that much quicker.
And now that mum and daughter are finally recognising that Aisha's anger issues could stand in the way of success, I've got a final warning from an American supersizer that I hope will motivate them to tackle Aisha's weight and diet for good.
My name is Brianna Blackwell. I'm 16 years old and I weigh 25 stone. It makes me feel very sad that I let myself get to this.
Brianna's diet would be breads and a lot of sweets, chocolates.
I love cakes and pies, and that's my weakness.
It was just whatever she wanted to eat, she was able to eat it.
So I used to just eat. Well, the age that I became very conscious of my weight was about 7 or 8. You know, I started noticing that I was bigger than the other kids in my class. Things changed when I went to secondary school. People started bullying me a lot more. People would make all kind of nasty comments, mean comments.
The only thing I could think of is seeing my child hurt every day from, you know, the mental abuse from all the children.
And I don't want to cry, but it just makes me sad sometimes. My weight affected my walking. It hurts when I walk certain distances. It makes it hard and like catch my breath in certain places, like when I go up the ramps and stuff.
I blame myself. If I could go back and do things differently, I definitely would have. Back then, I wasn't as educated as I am now about the health part of it. Abida, we have to take that extra time and monitor what they're eating. Our kids cannot eat the food if we don't have it in our homes, and it's okay to say no.
Hi, Aisha. Make sure that you watch what you eat, because if you don't, then you may wind up being very obese. So please, please try to manage what you eat, because in the future you may not be so lucky.
Wow. What did you think of that?
Shocking.
Did it upset you at all? Yeah? Why did it upset you?
Because I saw I could end up.
At the moment, I'm in shock, seeing she's only 16, she's only just a teenager.
If you leave it too late, it's much harder to change these things. Yeah? So, Mum, I want you to remember this video as well.
Seeing the film has given me the push, I think, that I need to make sure that Aisha doesn't gain any more weight. And I'm going to do my best to help her.
Result. And with the family's time at the clinic at an end, everybody prepares to return home with their 12-week healthy eating plans.
I'm excited to be going home. I feel confident that I'll stick to my diet plan.
I think I am going to be able to stick to my diet plan because I've tried a lot more foods lately and I'm just going to really try. I'll keep in touch. I'll email you.
Keeping up all the good work Aisha and David started at the feeding clinic takes dedicated effort, so I've asked them to keep me posted about their progress.
This is my new food chart. We get new food and we get a smiley face for each time we've tried it.
And David's system seems to be working.
The new fruit I tried was oranges and grapes and raisins. The vegetables that I've tried are green beans, peas, carrot and swede.
Today I weighed myself and it said that I was 11 stone 6 and that means I've lost 5 pounds. I'm so happy.
But it's early days, and with a few weeks left until they come back to the feeding clinic, will they keep it up? "12 weeks ago, Aisha and David left the feeding clinic, and now it's time for them to return for their results.
If
If I haven't gained any weight, I'll be gutted.
I'd lost some weight before, but then I'd put it back on again. Don't want to step on scales and not have lost any weight.
But before I see how everyone's been progressing, I want a private catch-up with the mums.
So, Bida, I hear things have been going really well. Tell me about it.
I'm not as successful as I would hope. But there's days when she just said, I'm hungry and I fancy that, I'm going to have it.
It's always harsh to hear criticism about, say, your parenting, because I think your kindness is what's responsible for making Aisha the size that she is.
Yes. Yes, it is, yeah.
And you can love Aisha to bits, but you can't kill her with your kindness. Yes?
Yes.
Hey, Aisha, come and join us. You look very nice. Do you think your mum is being tough enough with you?
No.
You don't? Do you hear that? You see, you're too much of a softie. Aisha's not going to hate you for trying to help her sort her weight out, are you?
No.
No, this is something you want to do.
Yes.
But the big question is, have mum and daughter been working together to keep Aisha's temper in check?
So do you remember Ursula talked with you about sort of trying to bring that a little bit more under control? Tell me about that. Is it working?
It is working because Mum is listening to me.
And for David's mum, Paula, the last few weeks have also seen change.
I think before, I was probably being a bit too lenient on him. Rather than have a big battle, just kind of give in and say, OK, well, we'll just give you what you want.
And now?
Now, I think just everyone as a whole has a more positive attitude.
Would you say that now you are sort of taking more responsibility?
Yes, I'm definitely becoming more responsible for his diet.
And you're more in control now?
Yes.
David, come on, tell me about it all. How's it been?
I'm trying a lot more fruit and vegetable, and at least 3 times a week I'm eating a banana at night.
Good, so you're managing to get a bit more variety. Excellent, well done.
We're not going to go back. I'm determined not to slip back.
So after hearing about all the high points and the hiccups, it's time for everyone to meet again.
My goodness.
Do you look different to you?
Yeah, so different.
You look like you've gotten a bit thinner.
How's the past 12 weeks been?
I've grown about 1.5 inches.
It's the big moment they've all been waiting for, the results.
Right, gang. Well, here we all are again, together again. You think you had a bit of a wobble and you might have put some weight on, didn't you?
Yes.
How much would you like to lose?
About 3 pounds.
You've lost 5 pounds. And you've lost 2 inches around your tummy. And you know that because your trousers don't fit you anymore, do they? So it's fantastic. Whatever it is that you've been doing, despite the tantrums, despite the struggles, the fights with Mum, it's working. Right, David. You've put on 3 pounds.
Oh!
Now, you only weighed 3 stone something at the beginning, so 3 pounds is fantastic. You know what the most extraordinary thing is? That I can't quite believe, and I'm a bit jealous. You've put on nearly 1 inch around your bicep. Again, just like Aisha, whatever you're doing, it's working, OK? And it's more than the weight, and it's more than the inches. It's your health going to be better, isn't it?
I am just really, really proud of you, David.
I feel really happy that I put on those 3 pounds. I know I will carry on with trying new foods and still eating bigger portions as I grow up.
I'm really happy for her because she's been a different girl since she started losing the weight.
I'm happy that I lost 5 pounds because I didn't think I would lose this much weight.
Coming up tomorrow night, there's even more tears and tantrums in the feeding clinic.
You are not even trying.
I am trying.
No, you're making me angry now.
But also major breakthroughs.
I've got my son back.
I teach kids how over and under eating can affect the urinary system.
One of the things having high blood pressure does if you don't treat it properly is it damages your kidneys.
And we hear from a teenager whose quest for perfection led to the deadly condition anorexia.
They said that I was starting to go into heart failure and gave me a few days to live.